everyone.
All right, we have a full agenda tonight. So I'll call us to order at 6:32.
We have, agendas? Agenda?
Oh,
Yeah, I have everything. I
Yes.
need.
Okay.
We have Karen Ashley, our town
Yes.
manager, joining us tonight, and
Thank you.
Janice here to visit. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Well, I knew that was.
Thanks.
I'll wait for you guys to get agendas.
The full deal here?
No, I can just do the agenda.
Okay. I'll take the rest back. That can be.
Actually, I'll take the budget in case you have questions.
You want rest, Susan?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
Just in case.
Thank
Susan, you have an agenda.
I can just take agenda, that'd be fine. Or I can look
Do you
on
have
it.
enough? If you don't have enough.
I can look on.
You can share mine.
I don't need one because I have mine on the computer. Who needs one?
Give that to
Janice
us.
does. There you go.
We're good.
You sure? Wait, I don't
I
care.
can also go make a copy.
I really don't need one because
Okay.
I'm looking at it right
Who
here
doesn't have an agenda?
and typing into it.
Oh,
I think we're good.
all right, we're good.
We're set.
Okay.
Okay, do we have anything to add or remove to your newly received agendas in front of you?
I just want to, if Karen doesn't want to stay for the whole thing, just that we bump her up on
Yeah.
the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Karen? Do you want to stick around for an hour and a half or would you like to go early?
Not an hour and a half. Early would be good, but
Okay,
yeah. I'm sure.
should we have Karen go now or should we move through
Oh, we
like
can-
secretary just at the beginning of the committee reports?
Yeah, I think beginning of the committee report, because everything else is pretty.
Okay.
Pretty snappy.
Secretary's report. Did everyone get a chance to read the minutes that Trish sent out last week, last Thursday?
Awesome as always.
Anything to change, any changes, additions?
No.
All right, I move to accept the minutes as recorded.
I'll second.
All in favor? Thanks, Trish. Treasurer's report?
Oh my word. It's end of year, so there are certainly some lines that look a little funky. So Emily has.
Everyone's got great reasons for all.
What's that?
Everyone's got great reasons for all of it.
But the ones that jump out of the copier leases, obviously, it has increased training and travel. Those are grant related, I believe. Those are the two that really jumped out.
Copier lease is $142 over, and actually, we're no longer leasing the copier, we now own it because we leased it for long enough.
Wow.
So this is actually this is the expense of the copier, just of the copies themselves, but you'll also notice that up top in printing, we're way over in printing revenue. So
Yeah.
the use of the copier reflects both the cost down in the expenses, but it's also hot, we're you know, $488 over our budgeted intake, take it in or revenues from the copier. So I think we're in good shape with that. Training and travel is because you guys paid for Fiona to go to the Association of Small and Rural Libraries
That's right.
conference last July.
Mhm.
And Kevin and I are gonna be meeting with Karen, this Thursday morning to do the transfers, or no, I'm sorry, next Thursday morning to do the transfers to cover the things that the trustees, either built into the budget, in the 3 lines in revenues, which is the endowment interest, the transferring from fundraising, and the trustee, what did you call it, trustees appropriation. But then there's also things that you voted on through the year, through this past fiscal year to expend, like the $2,000 extra for books, the gift book cost, that the revenue of which went into the trustees fundraising. So there's things like that that are in the expenses that we're gonna make the transfers to cover when we meet with Karen next week. But this is the reflection of the bills as is. There's still some other bills trickling in. So the full bills for the $2,000 that Julia and I spent on books are not, they haven't all trickled in yet, but I'm hoping that we can have all of those in so that we can accurately cover everything. Anything else about that, Kevin?
No, I mean, there's just a few that are over, but I know that a lot of it is, our transfer at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at the employee benefits too.
right.
You
Some
know,
of those are also a function of salary and because the salaries were increased halfway through the year.
yeah, your pension,
Yeah,
but the others are, you know, it's just a guesstimate, people,
Right.
when we start doing budgets. But we try to get as close as we can, but looks like we're gonna have to lift those some more.
yeah. Karen does a great job guessing, but of course, like I said, some of them are a function of salary, which did, did raise, those were raised by the trustees,
Yeah.
so some of those are over because of that, and other ones are over just because they're over, and we try to anticipate them in September and don't get real numbers until well after the turn of the year.
Yeah. Not bad though.
Thanks, Kevin. Library director's report, now that you've put up.
I know. You could be you guys pretend to concentrate. As of noon today, I have finished my plan and presentation for my fundraising and development class.
Okay, congratulations.
Class for the first time on Thursday, and I'm gonna do my practice presentation, and I'm practicing to present it all to you in September. So I'm gonna get some feedback, maybe get a little bit more tweaking from my classmates, but that's been a really positive experience. It's been really helpful to focus and be put through my paces in order to work our data to find out where we could be doing a better job with data keeping and what kinds of things we can really tease out of just the information that we already collect in terms of donations, which is great. So already some really practical steps have come out of that, and we're actually planning the annual appeal with a bunch of it in mind, which is great. I was away for a bunch of weeks in June, and the staff did great without me. Thank you, Amber, for hosting the schoolgirl sampler program with Fiona. That was great.
It's mostly piano.
I didn't go into any libraries in Greece. Usually when I go on vacation, I put a picture of myself in front of or in a foreign library in my director's report, and there just aren't any this time. Our volunteer work for Catamount Library Network is taking the form of me helping Lydia Taft-Pratt Library in Dummerston come onto the Catamount Library Network, and things are really ramping up because their go live date is in August, so I've been spending a bunch of time on that. We had a staff meeting on May 20th. We're gonna have another one in July. And the Library of Things is being cataloged slowly, but the telescope is almost ready to party. You could presently check out a set of traffic cones if you so desire. We have the firewood moisture meter, which Karen's been just doing it slowly as she's been able to, but we have a lull at the end of the fiscal year when we can't buy that many books. So she was able to get a bunch of the Library of Things cataloged, which is great.
Were those,
Huh?
did we purchase those things or were they donated or
We
where?
purchased them, and by we, I
How
mean.
would we decide to buy traffic cones for example?
We, and by we, I mean I, surveyed other libraries that have libraries of things for what their most popular items were, and people were like, the traffic cones.
Amazing.
And it was also like a relatively low expenditure
Yeah.
thing that it's like, cool. If people,
Quite durable too.
we got some really robust traffic cones.
I borrowed them as I was teaching Eva to parallel park, so we down to the parking lot and check them out and then promptly return them, unlike most of the books that I bought.
High visibility than most of the books. They're hard.
Fall behind, so.
How long do they go up?
I think everything in the Library of Things goes out for 2 weeks, or it might be 1 week. Honestly, I don't remember. because we
And
set this policy.
how is it publicized? Yeah.
It isn't really yet because we've been so slow on it. We were hoping to do this big splashy Library of Things, but the reality is cataloging a telescope is really different than cataloging. And so when I asked Karen to do it and she is trying to patch it in around all of the other stuff she has to do, like, it's sort of like it happens when it happens. But we've also been buying stuff slowly, so I still need to buy the sewing machine. We have a digital projector. We've been casually lending our digital projector in a non-checkout way for a long time.
That's right.
But now we will actually put a barcode on it and people can borrow it.
Is there an intended go live date
I mean, things are going live little by little, but we'll do a bunch of PR probably in September,
Mhm.
or in August. We will see when we have a critical mass of things for the
Mhm.
library of things. Some great
Is this
programs.
actually taking donations for that, or how does
I'm really
that
trying
work?
not to, because
Yeah.
we just, listen, we already have enough problems
Yeah.
with people being crap outside the doors. Do not, Jim, don't let her.
A lot of things.
You don't want a really old
Right.
croquet set or
I
typewriter?
might want to know the price tag.
Oh.
Huh?
As long as it's all good.
Oh, yeah, don't.
No.
mess with it. We had some great programs in May and June. Hands-on magic workshop was really, really popular. We had a big group. Fires and S'mores was really awesome, but
Mm.
ill attended because of the last minute PCS program that we didn't know about.
It was hot.
It was
not.
19. It might have been the best time for fire
Yeah.
and s'mores, but the s'mores were
Really
great,
hot.
and Amber brought popsicles. I really enjoyed the stories personally.
Yep.
And as I stated before, Amber staffed or hosted the sampler talk with Michelle Pagan. That's part of we're a stop on the Vermont Sampler Driving Tour to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country's founding.
Nice.
Yeah, this cool historic samplers that
Yeah, I need the select board to think about what we want to do too
yeah,
for next year. We should coordinate.
right. We could certainly be a host or, for any speaker events or things like that, but I felt like the sampler tour was something that I thought would have a lot of interest in town. And some of the samplers belong to Putney Historical Society, which is neat. Some of
Nice.
the actual samplers, and then we have a bunch of reproductions on the wall over there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm trying to spread the word that we're circulating the watercolor kits that we made during the watercolor paint making workshops of the winter and fall. And people can check those out. That's a Library of Things thing. And we have an art show over the computer area of different work that people made with them. And Amber has something in the show. And you all could have something in the show also if you would like to do a watercolor painting. The summer reading program is starting tomorrow. This is like the title.
Ice cream.
The ice cream
Not till
social is not till
Thursday.
Thursday, and many of you know that because you're gonna be here in action scooping ice cream. But the summer reading program is a tidal wave of youth summer programming that we look forward to and some of us dread all year. But Julia and Susan Hesse have been working really hard to not dread it, and they always come up with a ton of fun stuff, and they've got a great program. The theme this year is Color Our World. So it's all different things about colors. And Candace Jensen from In Situ Polyculture is doing a teen program tomorrow of marbling.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So if you have teens, come on by. And for the first time, there's an adult summer reading thing. I was teasing you all by handing out those summer reading bingo cards. For the first time, we are doing anything for adults. Yeah, there's more on the front desk, but if you get bingo in any direction, bring it in and you get a raffle ticket and you could win a $50 gift card to the Putney Diner that Eleni wanted to donate. I was asking if we could pay half and she would kick in, and she said she just wanted to donate it.
Thank you, Elaine.
Yeah, she's really wonderful. I just wrote that we're gonna go and do the transfers. And then I'm no longer able to access the memory system from within the library, which is how I used to enter the deposits and run reports. So I'm gonna have to go in person to town hall to do our deposits, but Carol.
Yeah.
It's, it's
That's
because of
frustrating.
the tech support company that you are using doesn't recognize us as.
They don't recognize my personal PC either.
So oh man, so you can't work from home?
Well, I have a different program,
Okay,
so I'm not.
oh, I see.
Yeah, they don't like me using it, but.
I made that little chart for my for my fundraising class, just to stitch things in the library facts for trustees, and I just plopped it in here because I feel like the numbers are pretty eye-opening.
Wow.
Just looking at our item in circulation and the way our door count has grown in the last couple of fiscal years has been really cool.
Thank
Mhm.
Also, I was just like, I've been really maxed out doing the fundraising plan, and I was like, this is already prepared. The trustees are gonna love this.
What are the wireless sessions? Is that
Yeah.
people sitting outside?
There might be outside or inside, but they're not like hooked into a public computer. So it's any session of more than 2 minutes is
Oh.
recorded in
So
that.
when I come in here and find a book and want to look it up on my phone.
If
it
you look
counts
at, if you hook to our Wi-Fi, then it's counted
Yeah.
as a wireless
as a
session.
wireless session. Yeah, as long as it's more than 2 minutes.
Do you have a theory about the dramatic?
Right.
I think that, well,
30%
you'll notice that I think that that's more people have internet at home.
Right, so
now.
they're not sitting out here.
Yeah, so they're not sitting out here as much, and also you'll notice that the public computer use went up, so I don't know,
Right.
if it's like, oh, I'm not just gonna be on my phone, I'm gonna come in. I'm
Is
not
the-
sure,
Is the public computer use only people who sign in to use the computer?
yeah, which is why I want you guys to all sign in to use the damn
I never
computer.
signed in. Sign in.
Well, look, then I
Wendy,
suspect that
sign
those
in.
numbers are please sign
There's
in.
like a little sign-in sheet.
Sign-in sheet, I asked her today, I thought we only had to do that if there were.
If we were
Kids, when-
teenagers who
when
were
they were
gay.
here. That's what I was thinking.
I do try to figure in that only like, I think that 80% of people sign in. What I'm hearing right now is
I
that
never
maybe
sign in.
20% of
Never
people
sign
sign
in.
in.
I'm usually only printing something out. I'm
It
like,
doesn't matter, man.
Does Ann Carey sign in? I'm not.
I hope so, yeah, I hope Ann Carey's signing in, because she's like,
yeah, there's like
80% of
365 of
Yeah.
it.
So you said there is more printing income, right?
yeah.
And
it's-
so people are using that machine.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're the
It-
only
it-
public.
That's
printer.
going up, I guess.
Yeah, it has, we haven't raised the price, but the.
I mean, the
money's not-
use is going up.
Yeah, people are definitely using that a lot. I think fewer people have printers and more people, I don't know, the printer is all day long.
Well, it's nice to have a good color printer.
Totally.
available.
So that's $2,688.90 made 25 cents and 10 cents at a time.
Right,
That's a lot.
right.
That's a lot of
Lot of
coins.
I know,
Yeah.
some people use paper money.
And
Um,
I paid for like $80 for it a few weeks ago.
Any questions about the director's report?
All right.
Now we can.
Yeah, let's bump buildings and grounds up to the top of the committee reports, and Karen, you can chat with us about heat pumps.
Sure. I don't have much of an update. I consulted with Emily again, and she sent me 2 previous, estimates. And, one is low and then the other one's pretty high, so there's a big difference in between.
The 2 I sent you, they're both for the same project. It's the electric, like the King's Electric
Yeah,
would be running the wires to the heat pumps, and then the Arc Mechanical one was the heat pumps themselves, so they're both need to be
together,
yeah.
yeah. So my recommendation to Emily early on is that we do a request for proposal. We do have a purchasing policy at town hall, and this would require at least, putting it out to bid, getting sealed bids come in, and, making sure that the building's gonna be equipped to handle the air and the heat and not be, undersized, but, and see what we get. It'd be nice to have it done this year. We do have some money in the capital reserve for the library. I don't know where the numbers are gonna come in. The other question too is, we can check with Efficiency Vermont because they are running some offers right now. Whether or not municipalities will, fit into their,
Mhm.
criteria, I don't know. I know they're pushing residential, but, it's worth a try and see where we can go. It'd be nice if we could find a grant, but that might be too late for this process.
You said a sealed bid? What does that mean, sealed?
So sealed bid means, we put the request for proposal out and then scope of work, the, contractor needs to have certain references and certificate of insurance, so we know if there's any liability, they're covered. So in the RFP, when I draft it, I can send it to Emily. If there's a committee looking at these, because I would expect that a board of trustees from the library, or a committee would review those proposals.
They're sealed in the sense that they're not public until they're
Yes.
open.
Until,
So
yeah, they
the
come in,
bidders
yeah,
are effectively competing.
yeah,
Gotcha.
And you have a series of criteria that you look at, cost
Right.
being one of them.
yeah,
That's a no.
yeah. And
All right,
it will
understood.
be in the RFP as a sealed bid
Mhm.
because of the dollar amount. When they're all collected, they're stamped in with a time, whoever received them. And, you know, could be received here, or could be received at town hall.
I
So,
think you guys might be more equipped to do that just because we've never done it. When we did the painting,
Right.
it was received, there was only one. It was received at town hall
Yeah.
and then I think we all met together to open them.
yeah. So we can, like I said, it can be the entire board, or it can be a select
Right.
group of people.
How do you determine who you're going to ask to submit a proposal?
All right,
Because there's a
so-
huge variety
Yeah.
of people out there installing, and the levels of professionalism are quite wide.
Yeah, and it's all, you can't compare apples to apples
Gotcha.
usually. So normally what we do at town hall, depending on the project, if we know there's local contractors in the area, we will solicit them,
Mhm.
usually by email. And then it goes into the commons. It
Mhm.
goes onto the town website. Can go on your website as well. So there's more exposure. But if there's 20 vendors, I'm not gonna send 20 emails and
Right.
invite people to,
You know, one thing that I do is the Vermont bid system. I just put it, I always put
Yeah.
it up there and that covers all the bases. You don't even have, well, I mean, it might be a policy for me to
Right.
put it in the commons, but
yeah,
I don't. I just put it, the
Yeah.
Vermont bid system covers a lot.
yeah. And doing that too, you may end up with more proposals from, 2 hours away.
Right.
But we have to consider every proposal and then decide.
Efficiency Vermont has a long list of approved.
I saw
vendors,
that.
Yeah.
I
They
saw
do.
that today.
Yeah.
So, that might be easy to do.
Mhm.
I wonder though, because I know we're trying to put one into one of our properties. And so many of these electricians are so busy.
That's the other problem.
Right, so that we might not get much of anything, but I guess you have to do it per your town policies.
Yes, yeah. I'll think about that too. Sometimes you can get a contractor and they might be able to sub the electrical out,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and we let them
Yeah,
get that person or that, company.
that would be great for them to work together in that way.
Yes,
Efficiency might, I don't know what their grants coming up, they might require that actually, just based on what the food shelf and the community center are doing right now. And just hearing talking to them about it, but I'm not
Yeah.
fully clear on it.
Are you saying that they require that they sub out the electrical work to another?
That if the heat pump installer has to be in charge of who the electrician is, and they're only gonna, if it's Efficiency Vermont is only gonna
I see.
cut one check, cut one check per project.
Gotcha.
That was my guess based on talking to Hannah about it, but I'm not sure I'm sure Karen's more acquainted with how to put that into the request for proposal. Yes, okay.
yeah, we just did that with a crushing and blasting RFP for Dummerston and Putney. And I can tell you right now, most contractors, they're working together. So you'll have a general contractor who has all their subs.
Yep.
They're using the same people,
Mm.
and Efficiency Vermont may already have it set up that way. So it could be fairly easy. Looking for two separate contractors is gonna be harder.
Mhm.
But if we put the correct language in the RFP.
Yep.
And we may not get as many contractors, but, if somebody's hungry for the work, they're gonna put in a bid. So,
You mentioned the heating. Are you doing ducted or ductless? ductless.
No. so
You
the
don't
heat
have to run it
pump-
through your heat.
Right, so the
system.
heat pump should be
Separate.
air and air, so you can switch them to the season.
So you're not gonna use you will still need to use the other the basic heating system though as a backup.
Yeah, and that's more like,
That's oil downstairs.
it's
right?
oil and that's our radiant floor heat and what, we've had, this point, we've had a couple different folks come through and take a look at things and for quotes for heat pumps for quite a few years now. I think we've had 3 different quotes and pretty much everyone said the heat pumps will be great for the shoulder seasons, but you should use the oil for this building in the middle of winter.
Yeah,
It's such a big building.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if yeah. Let's focus on heat pumps.
Yeah.
We'll do one thing at a time.
oh
and
yeah,
then,
well,
You know,
we're gonna leave, I mean, our oil situation is stable, you know, as right now, but it's really more like, don't think that the heat pumps are gonna completely take away our need to buy oil.
they don't. I mean, we have heat pumps at the house.
Yeah.
You know, the dead of
But the-
winter, you don't, they're not efficient, you know?
We do entirely, essentially entirely.
Really?
New ones, hyper heat pumps.
New ones
more
will
efficient.
really do it. The hot water is a separate thing, right?
The hot
Yes.
water heat pump, or the heat pump hot water heater is a separate thing.
Yeah.
That's what I have.
What's the time frame if we go through this RFP process?
So we're in July right now. Dropped the RP. You probably want it out there for 30 days.
Mhm.
That's a long time for something like this, but maybe 20. Then you'll have to review. July, August, could be, and then get a line of those contractors,
Mhm.
you know.
Do they tell you when they're able to start the job?
Here's the thing too, and I've done this before, I just did this with a box culvert here in Putney. And the road is gonna be closed and in our RFP, we said you have 5 days to like dig out the
I see.
temporary
Yeah.
and then put in this box culvert. You have 5 days to do it.
Yeah.
And that road's gonna be open back up.
Yeah.
And there's 2 houses beyond the box culvert, so we can manipulate, the RFP to what our needs are.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, I don't know how disruptive it's going to be to have this work done.
It
Yeah,
won't be disruptive.
No,
It won't be disruptive.
It's all done outside
Outside.
essentially.
Mostly, yeah.
Even running the wire, cause I think that, so presently these are not heat pumps, these are only air conditioners, and I thought it required a change to the electric.
Well,
It
but
might
that's
have to
not gonna
upgrade.
be
Yeah.
the
so,
interior.
yeah,
wall.
exterior walls, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
probably
thinking
might have to
basement.
upgrade their panel.
Yeah, but that's not gonna
No,
disrupt what's
most of them are
happening in here.
Okay.
I didn't mean disruption, I meant like, if some person says I can do it, but it's a 6-month out.
Yeah, I'll do it for you in 2027.
Well, you,
Yeah, right.
you cover that in the RFP.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
The
Don't even-
criteria.
If you can't do this
Right,
date, don't
right,
even bother
right,
with
right.
it.
That
Send
was-
in your
yeah.
RFPs.
The other thing too with bids, even though somebody may have the lowest bid, if they can't complete the project by a certain time date,
Right.
Yeah, then it's, right,
And
that
if
was
you
my
get bad
question.
references too.
Right.
So it's not like it's competitive construction,
Right.
it's really about.
Right.
Well,
yes.
If we do through this process and there are multiple bids and some come in lower than others, but it's clear that one of the ones that's not the lowest bid is the best match for the library and its project, is there a way within the structure of the town to say, yes, that's the lowest bid,
Yes.
but we're choosing this one for these reasons? We can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. We put language, I put language in our request for proposal that the town can do that, and in all bids,
Great.
so.
like I just said, it's not like it's a competitive construction that you have to go
Yeah.
That's the lowest.
the lowest, and even if you have, in competitive construction,
Right.
you have you have outs if they're not responsive,
Gotcha.
responsive and responsive.
Yeah.
And what is the ideal time frame that we're looking at having these installed and?
3 months ago.
Now we said we're on this timeline now, like,
Yeah.
we're talking about before cold weather. But you're saying the oil is gonna be like true cold weather heating.
Once we get into like the heating season, it's kind of like, I just need no more air conditioners to die this summer. And
Right.
once we get past that, it's just like, it would be great to have them in time for next summer. And I'm not chomping at the bit to use these immediately for heating. We have heat. We're not in a tight
Right.
spot with that. If we don't have, if one more of these dies, like this one's dead, that one's dead. That one on the wall is still doing okay.
Mhm.
But as long as like we can limp through summer with what's here, then anytime after summer and before next summer is good to
Right.
me.
So I was thinking if we make it to fall,
Yeah.
right? We have time by spring, you would want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that gives contractors a little more leeway too with their
Right.
schedules. The thing with these two, and it just drives me nuts, that, because we have some at the fire station, we have one down at the highway department. And they're not working, and you can't get anybody to troubleshoot them.
So are they heat pumps?
Air conditioners or heat pumps?
They're both,
Yeah.
yeah, they're heat pumps.
You can't get anybody to work on the heat pumps?
What about the person that installed it? There's the contractors that installed it.
Yeah.
Was that
I
too
would
long
have
ago?
to- Well, it was King's that installed
Yeah.
them.
Really?
And you know what they said?
No.
They said you gotta find somebody that can troubleshoot this. They can't determine what's wrong with the one down at the highway department.
Wow.
And we have at least one at the fire department too, right?
Oh,
So I wanna be
Yeah.
really cautious of that.
Yeah.
That's good to know, because I thought of Kings as being.
No,
Service, yeah.
no,
Well, none of the installers, they don't clean,
Yeah,
and these heat pumps are supposed to be cleaned
That's
yearly,
right.
and
Right.
it's pricey.
yeah.
yeah.
And then,
Yep.
and then if they're not working, if the installer is not going.
Mhm.
to-
Right.
Oh,
Unless you
because
have a,
my installer offered to clean it.
right.
And also, one of them was problematic, and over the period of a year and a half, multiple times he brought in the actual manufacturer representative,
Wow.
and
Who is that?
Ben Musso from Marlboro.
Hmm.
From
I have
Cold-
to call him.
Cold
Cold
Flame.
I've heard good things about
Yeah.
them.
All right.
There's a
That's
place
good to
in
know.
Bellows
So
Falls.
they're not an electrician, they're
He's an-
HVAC.
Yeah, well, this is his specialty, yeah.
Mhm.
That's really good to know.
Yeah.
No, he has a really good
I
reputation.
have to write that
He
down.
came in for free and consulted with us on air filtration during COVID and
Yeah.
sort of assessed what we had and made recommendations about the air filters we ended up getting through a grant.
But I would think, and this is not really the subject of this meeting, but it seems like it should be possible to pressure the people who did the installation to connect you to the actual manufacturer, because they warranty these things, they're
Yeah.
warranted, and they're responsible for the warranty.
Yeah, King's Electric did all
Well,
the
that's
install.
a
so
big.
They're
that's why-
busy too. I don't.
Well,
you know,
busy, but,
it's
you know.
like-
And King's, we got a quote from King's Electric to do it for us, it was just out of the
Yes,
site, so we
Yeah.
just kind of backed away,
yeah.
now I know.
but-
Cold Flame out of Marlboro.
Cold Flame, yeah,
So that is,
Right.
good guy.
pretty much the process for request for proposal, so.
And then once we have those proposals, that's when we're gonna look at how we're gonna fund it. Like, we've got the capital reserve fund, we're maybe gonna look into efficiency Vermont and grants. And then probably cover.
Yeah.
The rest. Okay,
Yeah. And you were saying there's some capital improvements funds for town buildings in general? Is that available?
It's in the general fund,
Okay.
but
Ben, his name.
there's money there. We'll see where we come in,
All right, yeah,
you know,
Yeah,
sounds good.
I'm hoping we're,
And you?
where those two did
FEA.
were,
And you.
and that was last
MOU.
year,
It was last year, yeah.
yeah.
And that they
That's good to know.
included those other things, so if you take that out, but I believe the Arc Mechanical bid included subsidy from Efficiency Vermont, because that was the present,
Yeah,
that
they-
was the. you know,
They give a discount on equipment.
Yes,
Everybody
It's a
gets a
rebate.
discount
It's
on
a
the
rebate,
rebate
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
equipment, but not the installation.
Yeah.
right,
That's the different grant.
right, but this was
rebate.
quoted this is quoted as with the discount for.
Right,
equipment,
the
right?
contractors often do that,
Yeah.
depending on what type of rebate it is.
It's
Yeah.
possible some of those rebates may disappear at the end of this calendar year.
Yeah, and speak
So
to,
getting it installed before then. That would be a motivation for
Yeah.
saying the RFP, it needs to be installed by December 31st.
right. So where are we at right now? Today's the 8th, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes,
what do we wanna do for timeline, or when can it be?
Well, we need to draft the RFP, but I have templates, so I'm not concerned about that.
Do you feel like
By next week.
that sounds great, and then do you need approval from the library board? Or-
Well, I would like another set of eyes
Sure.
just to make sure. We have everything covered in the RFP.
I'll be happy with that.
Okay, I can email it to you, Jim.
Do we need to do any kind of board process where we empower Jim to give this a thumbs up on behalf of the board, since we're not gonna be meeting again for a while?
I mean, even if we're unsure, can we just make such a motion and then if we approve that motion, then
Cover all our
we'd be
bases.
covered, we'd be right?
Ben, do you have a motion?
Yeah.
CYA.
Well, then, let's see, I would move that the board empowers Jim to sign off on the RFP proposal that Karen is going to draft.
Second. Question?
So then it's gonna be 20 or 30 days from whenever it goes into the paper,
Yeah.
and so we're looking at towards the end of August, when bids will be due, and then some committee of board members will come and open the bids, it sounds like. But I think the board would still probably need to
Um,
approve
to
the expenditure.
The
So
RFP
that's after we get the bids in,
proposal.
right?
Right,
Karen is going to.
so it's gonna take a little while too, depending on how many bids you
Right.
get. So September, you're gonna reconvene,
Yeah,
right?
could it
Yeah.
wait for our September meeting?
So
Right,
Yeah, we can
I
probably.
think that timing would work.
yeah, I think
Okay.
that would work.
Yeah,
That sounds good, so we can wait till the September meeting to approve it.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll figure out the rebates too with efficiency
Right.
Vermont,
Okay.
because if Jim's right, then we'll.
Better-
Maybe we can get a contract and do it before the end of the year.
That sounds amazing.
So,
They're ready for air conditioning.
Yeah.
so, we're not asking for much, we just. But if we can save money, it'd be great,
Yeah,
so.
thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, and thank you for your patience, because I know this has been on your list for a while.
I know, but I was trying to get nobody in town to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I know, I'm trying to do the same
things have
thing,
changed.
with the whole renovation of town hall.
Right.
So,
You have my email address.
I do, yeah. So. How's the lighting? I was just wanting your lighting
Oh, the lighting
project.
Jerry's gonna come and we're gonna do,
Oh, good.
he's gonna do it in August.
Okay,
And he was just in this morning with the electrician. I'm not sure who the electrician he's working with now is for that project. But we're gonna have to close the library for a couple of days for them to do it in order to block off the entire front. That was one of his requirements, and I don't
okay.
know what those dates are. So that's on the agenda, just for me to tell all of you. We don't know what the dates are. I can't ask you to approve it. It's just gonna happen in August and you'll learn before the public, but not.
Not much.
No, but it might be,
One of the many perks.
one of the many perks. You guys know when to panic borrow ahead of everyone. We'll have some lead time, but it's weather dependent, so it's just like my favorite kind of project. It's like great, like high stakes and weather dependent, so. So that's my only update on
Yeah.
that, but I'm glad it's happening soon. And that's the ARPA funded,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So get a name of the electrician if you remember.
okay, and you want that ahead of time,
No,
or just? You want?
I think we should have it in our back pocket when we look at heat pumps.
Right. Okay,
All
sounds
right.
good. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Karen.
Keep up the good work. Budget season's coming up too.
Something to look forward
You start early at that.
Yeah, I know, then it never finishes until January.
I know.
Right,
You got the lighting project.
yeah.
Nice. That was gonna be my public comment.
Finance.
Let's see, couple updates, update on investments as of May 31st, so we're due for a new, statement, but total funds were at 379,186, up from 369,105. So a pretty good month, and I suspect that June is going to be similar, and at least. And that breaks out into 313,050 in the one account, and then the other has 66,135. So done pretty well over the last couple of months. I have talked to Tony Hemmelgarn, who is our financial advisor. He's gonna plan on coming, he is planning on coming to the September meeting to give us some updates. He has split off from Park Place. And he explained that to me in some detail, how and why that had happened, largely because they had gone through three CEOs in the course of 18 months.
Oh, gosh.
And he was not feeling comfortable with things, nor were his partners in the investment
Wow.
portion of that. He had lots of reasons, but essentially he wasn't feeling like they were being very well served by the instability. Yeah, and they all turned in their resignations on the same day and started their own financial consulting business called Longview. Still associated with Commonwealth, nothing changes in terms of our accounts or anything else. The day that they turned in their resignations, the CEO was fired, actually. the
Oh my
same
God.
day.
She was supposed to speak at my event that night, so I knew all about it.
The CEO.
So he's feeling great,
Okay.
and
Excited all.
yeah, I think they're feeling like they're out on their own and still associated with Commonwealth. And that, certainly he's gonna tell us we're in good hands, but I think we're in good hands. Nothing has changed about the way our accounts are handled. So he will update us more on that, and they will have more permanent digs when that time comes. They're down by the bus station right now. He's not super excited about that, so, but they're moving soon by the end of the month. So that's an update on that. We need to change the authorization on those accounts.
Yeah, I had the
From-
phone call with Tony yesterday, so he
Okay.
said the paperwork would be ready for us
Okay,
by the end of this week or early next week at the latest.
I'm sorry, what is this about? Authorization needs to change?
that's to put Amber on and take Janice
I
off
see.
of our paperwork, so it's,
Yep.
The way
Understood.
he explained it to me yesterday was like, in the event that something like we needed to withdraw funds and
Mhm.
Kevin was like out of the country, like usually
Right.
Kevin would be the person handling this,
Sure.
that they usually have two people who are authorized
Yeah.
to access the funds.
Great.
and
And he
then-
made sure I wouldn't like take off,
Just for all of us.
And then Emily's already mentioned that we have a meeting with Karen next week to do our annual fund transfer.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Institutional long-range planning.
We met.
We did, we did. It was a good meeting. It was a good meeting. Do you wanna?
Sure, we met and we kind of mapped out some, I'm not gonna call them smaller tasks, but some kind of low hanging fruit tasks in terms of things that we concluded to be more ready for certain kinds of emergencies. And there are things that I'll be completing with the staff and then reporting back to the institutional long-range plan committee. And then we'll continue marching towards having more of a formal emergency plan.
And you got my stuff.
I did,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was, yeah,
That's like,
Extensive.
that's like.
that's a
big
real
emergency.
plan, yeah.
Oh, but it's actually really easy.
Uh-huh.
It is.
So Susan's gonna be in charge.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. No.
But I can help.
Yeah, no, it was really helpful to meet with the two of you, so thanks for that. I'm going to doodle you both, about early October.
Okay.
Yeah,
To meet,
for
sure.
us to reconvene. That's it for that one.
Nothing to report for the nominating committee, personnel, that's you again.
Now that my fundraising plan is over, I will write it says I'm writing my self-assessment, but maybe that's true as of like tomorrow.
Will, right?
Yes, we'll be writing her self-assessment.
And we'll have that for September. to
Yeah,
approve.
I think so. We usually do it over the summer.
And then policy and bylaws, a question came up while Emily was out of town, specifically about a group that wanted to know if they could use the fire pit, and that led some of us to be like, oh, we actually don't have anything written into our policy about how the outdoors are used.
But I suspected this was coming. And I contacted Wade Mazur, who is our insurance guy for Vermont League of Cities and Towns, which provides our liability insurance. He visited us the first time before we had the shortest day party to assess the stone seating area and whether or not we were allowed to have fires in it. And I explained the whole thing to him, and he's the one that advised us for the library to get their own fire pit. To do that, but I suspected, and he confirmed that when there isn't a library representative, such as a board member or a staff member present, nobody should be using the fire pit. Or even their own fire pit in that space. He just felt like that was a bad idea.
Using it, you mean having a fire in it?
Having a fire in it, you're right, you could use it, I guess.
Well, people sit there.
Oh, yeah, people can certainly
Right.
sit in the stone seating area, they just don't want to put a fire pit in it and have a fire, like, no.
What about the other one you had?
I didn't even bring that
It
up.
might
Don't worry.
burn down and destroy.
It doesn't throw out much heat. The group that initially brought this up is Vermont Wilderness School. I have no doubts about their ability to have.
Yeah.
But when you open the floodgate, then it's like you kind of are having it for everyone. So,
Yeah.
Wade did document in an email that he thought this was, he basically said, no, we can't do this. We can't extend this to outside groups. So now the board is aware. So there's no policy about this other than we don't allow that.
Are you going to create a policy?
Well, that's the second, I mean,
More
do
thing,
we
more
need,
elements.
Do we need
to add this to our policy and bylaws? Like, do we need a statement
saying no?
just to
fire?
make it really clear? So in the future, you're out of town and somebody comes to Julia or a board member and says, hey,
We could. We don't presently require that people using the outdoor meeting spaces do anything, like tell us anything. Vermont Wilderness School is using the outdoor space during hours, and they did approach us, but other people like the Wyndham County Republicans have had their meetings here. And I've just like seen the warnings out in the thing, and I'm like, oh, they met here. And like we don't know, people don't register those meetings necessarily. I'm not sure where exactly that would live. There's also no, there's no open fire, there's no fire pit. But there's no lots of things, but do we need to write all of them?
right.
And after tonight, there's going to be a town ordinance about no open containers of alcohol in a public place.
Oh.
I expect, tomorrow night, it's on the agenda tomorrow night. I don't know how it evolved or who.
I never thought
What
it was
about the
allowed.
Twilight?
I always thought it was part of it too, so maybe it's being renewed or something. I don't know.
Is this before the select board? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
I never knew we were allowed to have open containers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, my question is what constitutes a public place?
Yeah, like I'm thinking about like Twilight and what's happening,
That's
like
owned-
people.
That's not public, that's owned by.
Oh,
You know, and the community garden stuff's now owned by Greek Commons, they're not
Right.
private. So I don't know if those
You can
constitute,
have an open container in your car, can't you?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I thought that was the
Vermont
bad.
always was,
I
one of
think-
the few
and as long as
places
it's
where.
not-
That's what open carry means,
Yeah.
right? Really?
I think,
No,
You can.
I
What did
agree.
you say?
I think as long as it's not the driver,
You
you
can
can
have
have
an
an open
open-
container in your car.
Yeah, you can.
In Vermont.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
What a place.
Take on open carry.
I would have moved here sooner.
It's funny, I was just having the conversation, like I grew up in a state where you weren't allowed to have any alcohol in state parks.
Uh-huh.
And it, and that's not that's never been the case in Vermont, but I want, like, that would be covered by something. But we're talking about Putney, not Vermont, right?
Yeah,
How about
municipal.
public?
Yeah, okay.
I'll let you know
Well, so
what happens.
I don't know exactly where to document that, because we don't have anything else about
Yeah.
outdoor use right now.
No, it's a good, I mean, I guess unless somebody like. I mean, it's not like the fire pit is there.
No,
Mm.
correct, we put it in the.
Moves in and out.
But could somebody bring their own fire pit in place and?
People could also bring their own open containers and their own fireworks and their own all
Right.
kinds of illegal stuff. and do
right, right.
it outside, but I don't know, should we be enumerating everything you're not
No.
supposed to
No.
do?
Right.
No,
Or just kind of leaving it, and if people ask, we say no. I don't really see people showing up at fire pits other places and. Yeah. I don't know, like, does documenting, like, the one thing we know we're saying no to, open it up, like, well, it doesn't say no, then you can't have, whatever.
yeah,
you know,
I see,
like-
yeah, no.
This
I
seems
think-
like a low priority question, like it seems like an eventuality that has low probability of occurring either way, so it probably doesn't matter which we choose.
At least the Wilderness School thought to ask us.
Yes, well, they're
Right.
also gonna be having their program while we were open, but it was gonna go, I believe, until when we're not open, which is when we get into the weird zone of
Mm.
how do you put out the fire or not. So,
Yeah, I guess I misunderstood Julia when she first approached me with this, because I was under the impression that somehow we had like. That you guys had like, what's the right word? Like been like, okay, the Vermont Wilderness School is reserving this space for this time. And that if people are reserving the spaces, then we need to have some sort of outdoor use policy. But if I'm understanding you correctly, there's no like formal reserving.
Not for
There,
outside.
anybody can just use any of those spaces when they want to,
We just have
right?
never had anything like that because like I said, people have called meetings on the
Right.
patio or behind the library or under the tent and things like that, and we haven't known about it. The seating area is new. We don't have a policy about its use or reservation, but the Wilderness School did approach us and asked if they could do their thing, and we said, as long as it wasn't violating our other policies about fundraising or alcohol or things like that.
So this seems a little odd to me, like any group in town could just come and hang out at the fire pit, even without the fire pit, and just like have a time there together
I've seen. people-
without, yeah.
Community
Well, in
space.
some way, that's why it's there.
why it's
right?
there.
Totally.
You can come and sunbathe in your bikinis like the girls across the street.
Good to know. Good to know.
That's right.
If it's still fitting.
Well, then, then do you put a garbage can out there? So I just don't think we should,
Yeah, we're not gonna get into.
yeah.
Don't
And
spend our
I
time on this.
agree.
Okay.
Here, here.
Nice.
We did that one.
All right, we already, is there anything else in buildings and grounds aside from the update from Karen?
No, the tent is up. Thank you, tent crew. I didn't put that in my report, but thank you all.
Thank crew for the win.
Yes. You can commence.
You can just, I'm still thinking about the last thing. I mean,
Yeah,
it should be clear that the board is delegating to the director.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
director's representatives, the answering of questions about what goes or doesn't go
yeah,
on outside. So
Absolutely.
if someone asks, you have the authority to say, no, you can't drink here, or
Yeah.
you can't have a fire,
no.
or you gotta carry all your garbage out, but there doesn't have to be a policy about the whole.
Right, no, you guys do delegate that, and I think it came up because I was away, and
Mhm.
Julia
Yeah.
turned to board members about it,
And Julia should know that she's when you're not here, she's it on.
Yeah, I think
And she can always call somebody up on the board if she
I
wants
think
to
you
talk
don't wanna
about
say
it.
the wrong thing and like
Right.
forbid something that is actually allowed, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
everyone handled it fine, but I get what you're saying and I appreciate it. And in your absence, I just sort of lean on what I think is sane or what the policy does say about alcohol or fireworks or whatever.
Definitely not fireworks.
Okay, fundraising, the appeal committee met last month and we decided to solicit Chrissy Lee again to work with us on the appeal for this year. And then I met with Chrissy and chatted with her further about her thoughts on the ideas that we took to her, and she had some really great advice around strategies that she feels would benefit the library, and that paired with what Emily has been learning in her fundraising class has led us, I think, I haven't heard from you, but
I didn't know if you wanted to, I thought we'd discuss it tonight, but go ahead.
we can. So Chrissy's opinion is that letters are really, really effective. People read letters, and we thought what we might like to do is proceed forward this year without having like our trifold or our like self-mailer appeal, but to have a letter that just directly outlines the things the library has been doing, the fact that many of these things are fully funded by donations from people like them, and the uncertain funding landscape moving forward. So touching on all of these pieces, and also including an expanded testimonial from a family here in town who utilizes the library a lot. And Chrissy is going to illustrate a portrait of that family, like in her style, that will be at the footer of the letter. So it would be, it's Ashley Starro for anyone who knows her and her family. She's the director of programming at Main Street Arts in Saxons River. 2 small children. She and her husband live here in Putney, and they are here frequently.
Active patriots.
And she's enthusiastic about providing a more like not just a one-liner, but like, you know, a few sentences, like a small paragraph around why the library is important to her and her family. And then, yeah, I think we'll probably also talk to Chrissy about possibly including like a component or two that ties from the appeal that we've used over the past
So
couple
it'd
of
be
years.
basically a one-page letter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will it have the mailer?
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll still have the remit envelope inside of it. I think that can all stay the same.
And there'll probably be some kind of design on the outer envelope, the big envelope that contains it all.
Right, like right now, it's like a black and white line drawing of the birthday cake that is inside the appeal that's on the outside of the envelope that went out last year. So that's where we are sort of standing with the appeal. I have it under new business to ask you guys. Christy did come up with, when I talked to her, there were a few different options on the table, and so she gave me a quote for like, this is if we do everything. So it's probably not gonna be quite that high, because we're feeling pretty good about moving
letter
forward
sounds
with the
good.
lesser end of things, which doesn't mean we can't go back to using the appeal in future years
Right.
after this. But what she said resonated with me too, that idea of, I know when I get things in the mail, especially in November, like some of them, like I spend time looking at and reading all of them, but those letters that are like really direct, like appeals to the people that they're going to, like I do read a lot of them. And so that resonated with me, her opinion around that.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Cause that's how we do, we do a letter, but, the fact that you actually, cause I know Next Stage did a really good job with testimonials and pictures and stuff like that, but there were a few there. I think it would be pretty powerful, not just to have one, but to have a couple different types, but I don't know if that doesn't fit into what Chrissy was, you know, you could have it on the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely working with limited real estate if we're going with a letter, but,
Well,
we
the
could
front
look at
could
the
be the
back,
letter,
yeah.
I mean, that's how where we use
Yeah.
our, but you know, it's, if she was, you know, if you all were suggesting just one, but there's different there's different types of users.
Yeah, I know, like a young family is not.
No, young family is
Like-
wonderful, but it could be one of us. Elderly. Oh, no, that's not the right word.
Welderly.
What's that?
The new word is welderly.
Welderly.
Oh, my God.
What is
For
that?
active
Well,
seniors.
Oh, you know, like why we like to come.
So one thing I learned in, what?
Are you gonna write that?
So
Who signs it?
We talked about. doing-
Emily and I talked about co-writing the letter. I am not attached to writing a letter. If somebody feels really like they are a wordsmith extraordinaire, please say like, I will do that, but, I'm willing to write the letter with Emily if nobody else wants to or feels good about it. And the only thing that comes to mind as I'm like, I like what you're saying, Susan, and if we decide to ask Christy to illustrate these portraits of
Uh-huh.
like the families, that's definitely gonna put us
Right,
up
right,
at the
right.
top end of what.
And that's only if you had like photographs and stuff like that. but-
Yeah,
So it might be just, it's fine, it's illustrating. I just remember when Next Stage did it a couple of years ago, I saved that thing, because I thought it was so well done. And
yeah,
One thing I learned in our fundraising class is that there's a lot of potential for growth in how we organize our donors, and we don't segment it all, so it's not like young family of other age group, like we don't do anything with demographics. So if we wanted to send out a letter where it's like, this speaks directly to you and your family situation or where you're at in your life, like we don't collect any of that. But we could, but it would take a lot of time.
Yeah.
that's a lot of,
Yeah.
No, but I was just saying that you have a couple different testimonials from.
Like within
different-
one letter, yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like this is still wonderful.
It would be a nice change.
yeah.
Yeah, I was
think so.
thinking if people, we're so used to getting the thing, if I saw something different from the library, I might really read it because
Yeah.
I might think like, oh, I know their materials but it would be like, oh, wait, a letter? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that,
And I mean, I know it was a really unique year, but
Yeah.
Kevin wrote a letter in 2020,
I did.
which wasn't it?
I think it's you, Frankie,
Seems
and
reasonable.
someone
Yeah,
else.
but that was like the biggest,
Oh, sure.
the biggest donation year we had, which I think was probably
There's a-
true for a lot of different reasons.
I'm not saying it might have been you.
Maybe Kevin should write the letter.
I write a lot of letters.
Yeah, so I feel like I shouldn't ask for the money until we actually get to it on the agenda.
Why don't we just bump that part up there?
Okay.
While we're in there.
So
Okay.
Chrissy budgeted up to 10 hours of work to work on the appeal, which comes out to a maximum of $950. So in order, and her timeline is that she wants to work on this like now, this month, so that we have it in hand to approve in September and get it into the mail in November and out the door. So I would like to make a motion to approve up to $950 for Chrissy Lee to do design work on our appeal this summer.
second it.
Any questions?
You said that you probably wouldn't be up towards the maximum end? Like, where's the median? Or the,
So when we originally went to Chrissy, one idea was sort of tweaking the existing trifold. Doing some color illustration changes, things like that. And so that would have been a little bit more work
Mhm.
than I think a letter.
Gotcha.
The
Is that where the
illustration is
950
definitely gonna be a piece of it.
Sure. Is that where the 950 came from? Was like thinking about that, like the trifold revamp?
Yeah, so what
Okay.
Chrissy did was she knew that we could go with the trifold revamp, or we could go with this letter idea that she suggested, while she knew that that was also gonna include some illustration work from her and some design work around the letter.
Yep.
The letter format,
But
so that's how
regardless,
she came up with the number.
yeah, and so that represents that, but since we're looking at something that's not that,
Right.
even though we have approved that much, will not likely be the full $950, is what you're saying.
That would be my guess,
Yeah.
though I can't really, I
Right.
can't quantify like how long it will take her,
Sure.
so. I will say in previous years, this is in line with what we've approved for
Yeah.
her work, was in this neighborhood of like
Reasonable.
$900 to $1,000. Any other questions? All in favor? Thanks, guys.
I have a question. Who writes the thank you notes?
We do. We divvy it all up.
Willing parties, yeah,
Yeah.
And how many donations do you usually?
100, between 150 and 170.
It usually is like, I don't know, might get a stack of like, I don't know, 20 or
We
so.
break- Yeah, we break it up, or I break it up among willing parties. The more of you that do it, fewer you have to do.
And we also personalize the appeals to the extent that we're able. So when the appeals go out, like we're stuffing them and usually like taking
Oh,
like,
right.
oh, I know
You
this
got
person, this
something,
person,
right.
this person, I can write like a really brief, like, thank you so much for your previous support, note inside of it.
When do we stuff them?
Well, we should have if they get to the printer by, so I'm trying to remember the timeline. I think October for CNS is only a 2-week turnaround. So probably late October, mid to late October.
It could even be at the October.
I think
board
that's
meeting
what
or
you
That's when it was
before the
before,
board meeting.
yeah.
Yeah, we had like a stuffing party or, yeah. Does anyone want to give Susan and Jessica like a really brief overview of what came out of our capital campaign meeting
Yes, that'd be nice.
an
Sorry,
hour
I
and a half
missed it.
ago?
Yeah. Well, Trish wrote some minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe I could just look over her shoulder
Yeah.
and,
I can just read them.
I'm gonna-
I'm getting salad while this is happening.
all right, I'll try to move that way.
It's really just the action.
Let's see.
items Going forward.
Yeah, we met. We did.
We talked.
I sent everybody the notes from our retreat. We got back on that page. We talked about a couple things. We talked basically about what we would have to do next. And one of the key things that we thought we might have to do next is check in with the town and see if this capital campaign is something that the town desires before we pour energy into it. So there was some talk about that.
When you say the town, you don't mean the select board, you mean.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, like
Okay.
the citizens of the town. I mean, so
Leaders.
what,
Community leader.
yeah, what we were thinking is maybe sitting down with Discover Putney and other community institutions and saying, what do folks think of this?
Yeah.
And does this seem to meet the needs of the people that you talk to?
That's a good idea.
And we came up with some ideas about how to move forward, but that was really the one that seemed the most, that seemed like our next step. What
I
am I
think the
missing,
idea
everybody?
about like feeling like investigating how to pay and hire a consultant
Mhm.
who would kind of be able to guide us through this process. And so Emily is gonna check in with Susan regarding potential grant money that is used for like hiring a consultant
Yeah,
like
I
this.
would, that,
Who does the capacity grant?
Vermont Community
That's what I
Foundation.
thought, okay,
So that would be where I would go.
yeah.
And then I'd have an amazing consultant that I use that actually has recently done a library also up in New Hampshire, but
Sounds
But-
great.
but they do other things too. They help us with our CPG.
Okay.
But there's somebody who used to work for CPG that's down here. So, I mean, but they're really good.
Okay,
So we should talk about it. And
yeah,
there's other people too, but they're my go-to.
and you guys got the grant and that's covering some of their fees?
No, I did not get the grant. The way we're doing it is, they kind of I'm paying as we're working on it. So when you develop your campaign, you develop it with like, so we're 1.25 million. And of that, 30,000 is for the fundraising consultant.
Mhm.
Lo and behold, we're only spending 15,000.
Wow, great.
So that's how you do it.
Mhm.
But if you get the capacity grant, that would help as well.
Absolutely.
At least
yeah.
get you over the beginning.
Mhm.
Great, I'll look into that.
And they can, and also they can look into what you were just talking about, they can do the feasibility
Mhm.
analysis, like, is this really a feasible project?
Mhm.
Will there be people in these woods that are willing to donate to it?
Other things that that we talked about, besides just taking the pulse of the community, were recruiting leadership for this, which could look like a consultancy, but also include like maybe a campaign chair or co-chair. Seeding the campaign from the endowment was one of the things we talked about. And having multiple phases, some of which would be reaching out to large donors to raise a significant portion of the funding before we went public with it. I think that, did I miss anything?
And our next meeting is, did we decide on that?
Oh, no.
No.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay. We
I
talked
was like,
about
did
it
I
next
forget
meeting,
that?
but we did not set a date.
Yeah, again, I apologize. I had another meeting.
No,
that-
no, it's okay,
that came
Susan.
up.
Though we are eager. for
I know,
your
right?
expertise.
It's true.
I'm just finishing up. I'm 175,000 away.
All right, thanks, Tristan, guys. Do you have anything else to say about your fundraising class?
It's over. No, it's actually not over. This agenda might have led you to believe that I was gonna present tonight and I'm not. September will be the time, but like I said, I just have gotten a lot out of it and I'll be presenting my presentation to my class on Thursday.
Mhm.
So thank you, board, for supporting and doing that. It's been great to do, especially at this moment in time
Mhm.
with, us heading into the capital campaign.
Nice. Now, who is that class through?
Common Good Vermont.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
They do great stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, strategic planning, I don't think there's anything to report, town library relationship,
No.
no, garden. So I have been following the emails, but I'm not a garden expert, so I only know there's an issue with the aronia bushes.
Yeah, RIP.
We talked about it, right?
Aronias. Well, they're dying.
Are they dying or?
The aronia bushes in the middle, in the center several have died,
Oh,
others are dying. Except the two in the middle seem to be really stronger, although now they're
yeah, they are.
waning a little.
What's their problem?
That is what we
No.
don't
That's the
know.
million
Mark
dollar
Hudson
question.
came over and he was the landscaper that planted them, who Gordon works with and recommended. He dug out a couple. I mean, you could basically pull them out of the ground. The ground was, and it had rained a lot, just like the week before. The ground was really dry. The ones we looked at, they were very root bound. The roots had, baby roots, the roots had never really gone out. And he didn't really know. He just had kept watering, and then he said, well, maybe you should feed them. None of that seems to be, I haven't fed them, but the watering doesn't seem to be making a difference. More are dying, or pieces of them are dying. But the ones on either end are fine.
Right.
So,
So it's probably something to do with where they are or how they were planted there, because all
Yeah.
the other ones are the same.
they've all been watered the same amount,
Yeah.
We did not water them as much last year, obviously, as we did the first year, and it was a very hot year. There's also, the possibility there's something in the soil. When I did when we had the soil test done, that area wasn't developed, so it was just little pieces from all over that
Sure.
center area. So I am going to probably tomorrow do a soil sample and send it back off again to see if there's anything in there.
Yep.
One of the thought is that the roots from the big tree are still in there. They take at least 3 years to deteriorate. And it could be, possibility, because when Alec created the wall, he spent a whole afternoon digging out that root that was still there substantially before he could build. And I don't know if that was done to the same extent here. So it's really sad, we're stymied. I told Mark not to order anything until we know what the problem is.
So there's no offer to replace them.
Well, he said, I'll replace them, and then he said, well, why don't I order 6? And I just wrote to him today and said, don't order any because they're more dying and there's no point until we find out what the problem is.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, you had an interesting insight about the berries producing.
If you look at all of them, the ones that are dying have all produced berries. The other ones haven't, or as much, and I think in my experience with vegetables, that if they're stressed, they go to flower
Right.
and to fruit
Try
really
to
fast.
reproduce, yeah.
Humans do that too.
Right, it's like teenage pregnancy. Basically, it is, yeah, but anyway, and the other ones don't seem to be, they were putting their energy into growing and being green and healthy, so.
But the trees
But
look
that's,
great.
that's more of a symptom than a
Right.
cause.
I mean, it's frustrating because we don't know the reason.
Yep.
And I asked, Bob Everingham came to my house, he's the all about trees guy. He came to my house to give me some, an estimate for treating my beech tree, who has beech leaf disease. And, he said he would look at them and I gave him the, soil sample results. And he said and I also sent the soil sample results to Mark Hudson as well. Gordon said something about, he thought that the compost that Mark put in there, that was the reason. I don't get why that would be.
Yeah, no, yeah.
When that's not anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There is a
doesn't make
possibility they
sense.
could have been over mulched and the water didn't get through. But this is, I mean, they were watered really regularly the first
Well, it
year,
doesn't
really,
make
really.
sense that the root ball would be
Wouldn't-
tight still.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a few roots coming out, but it's still wound around. And to me, that's like, well, it wasn't planted
Yeah.
correctly,
Right.
wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
They
thinking.
didn't,
Go down.
And
And
that
then
was-
why were the other ones?
well, Mark planted them and he had an assistant as well, but she's a landscaper. She's not, and she's not like, just.
Not a hack.
Not just a gardener, you know,
Right, right,
not friend, no, she is her own business. So. Bad, sad, nothing to report good about that,
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for all your work.
Mystery.
Figure it
but we're still watering, right?
Water and
No
hope.
rain coming up.
We're hoping for the
Has
more
Rod
rain.
stopped by?
Yeah, that's the
Rob
Rob.
did stop by, he did not email while I was away, but I did get him on the phone yesterday.
Oh.
Yes, and it was helpful. He said he didn't seem to understand the thing about the log bench. And I don't know if you guys spoke about that. Maybe that was a different,
We did speak about it. He knew there was a log bench.
okay. He
It's
wasn't,
also in an email to him, but in our one conversation, we focused a lot on the front.
Front,
And then it
yeah.
was like, the side we'll do second, so
Okay.
I can understand that he didn't.
yeah, that seemed to fall by the
Focus on
wayside. And
maybe?
we talked mostly about the millstone bench and the stones around it. He says that he has no bead on a millstone yet, but not to give up, and that he's looking for either a full circle or a half circle one. That could be boosted up to a height of about 17 inches to be a bench in the center, and that it would be between $3,000 and $4,000. And, I said, I was sort of like, please give me a ballpark figure and I can have the board approve something so that when you find such a thing and he gets in touch with me, let's say in August, I can just say, yes, the board is in favor of this. And so we did that. He talked about doing the work pro bono. I don't know if the 3,000, 4,000 includes installation or not. That part was kind of vague, but I don't know if the 3,000, 4,000 was just for the millstone itself or also for installation, but we could talk about that if he finds one.
I thought the idea was also that he was going to reseed, that he was going to, whatever, renovate the soil that's under there. And then reseed, which now we can't do till the fall anyway, it's too hot, but,
That
so,
was
it was-
definitely a big part of.
yeah,
the
that was,
Priority number one. was
Right.
To receive it and level it as soon as we could.
that seems
But I
like,
don't know if he's sort of, to him, that's such a small thing, I think. He
Yeah.
Probably is.
but it would be good, I mean, before he does that, to figure out about these tree roots, And, because obviously nothing really good is growing there now. And he might have an idea. He's a really super experienced landscaper. about
It does sound like he's challenging to communicate
Very.
with, like, and move forward with,
Yes.
I think that I think he's probably thinking about this as a project that centers on the millstone bench in the middle.
Right.
And that maybe once that is part of, I also reminded him that we have some stones over here.
Right.
But I was thinking, I didn't know if those were part of the log bench. I thought those were part of the log bench design. I was unsure if they had anything to do with the millstone design. And he wants the millstone bench to have some other stones around it. And I wonder if he's just thinking of it as all one thing that happens at once.
I mean, that's, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
the center project. But if the board wants to approve a not to exceed $4,000 number, then if he finds a millstone, I can say, get it. If everybody's into that plan, I can tell, like, approve it on your behalf. Or you could not do that, and then if it comes up, I can get in touch with the garden committee and say, get everyone together on Zoom, and
I'm not clear where is this?
it's out front.
In this space right in front.
Right.
So there'd be a millstone. There'd be a round millstone, there'd be a bench.
The whole thing would be overseeded, so it would look like a
Right.
continuous grassy area with a round millstone, a lot like the one at the Putney School, that serves as sort of a focal point and a landing spot and a sculpture at the same time.
Do we have like did we ever see a picture or anything of it?
There is one up, I had a picture, I thought I showed people from Putney School. Where is it?
It's outside the health center and
Yeah.
farm.
People sit on
My concern is also it's super sunny there. Are people gonna sit on it? But
hot stone.
I have a problem.
Well, in the springtime and late
Depends on-
fall.
Yeah.
We sat on the hot stones for the s'mores.
Yeah.
Maybe
They
we'll
were
find
warm.
those ladies in their bikinis then.
Yeah, when I met with him, he seemed very excited to work with us while also very busy. He is really knowledgeable. He sort of immediately could imagine sort of retooling this side area.
Yeah.
I did tell him about the bench. But he is proving a little hard to work with. I was disappointed that it didn't happen sort of in a more.
Well, he's been busy over
sequential
there
thing.
too.
But he probably will do something nice and it probably will happen.
It is his absolute busiest moment, I think,
Yeah.
I think right now, so it's challenging to pin him down, but I'm glad I was able to get him on the phone.
Yeah.
I was definitely hoping that we could approve some money for the grading and the soil amending and the reseeding, to do that this fall. And then he did say that, it just depended on his ability to find, such a stone. So he was thinking if that would happen second to this. So I definitely, because he's so hard to work with, I wouldn't want us to get slowed down by not having approved that as some money, towards working with him.
You were saying that he was proposing that we redo the kind of the grass and
Yes.
then, and like redo the grading and then get the stone?
Depending on how quickly he gets the stone.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Both, I think they both can make sense. I think when I spoke with him, he said, well, we should just do this as soon as possible. And I said, that sounds great. But, now that 2 months have gone by, yeah, it does make sense to combine the seeding with the millstone if it could all happen in the fall.
I'm guessing that he was presuming that it would all happen at one time, but he didn't say that directly
Yeah.
to me.
So it doesn't make sense to plant grass now.
No.
So
Regardless, it sounds like the question before us is just, should we approve the funds for something like this or not? Like, it just seems, do these details necessarily matter to that question before the board right now?
That is what I proposed, but the more we talk this through, the more I'm like, I don't know that any of us understand the 1, 2, and 3 of this project,
Mhm.
and maybe we shouldn't.
Hmm.
Well, he was supposed to provide an estimate of this is what the work is, this is what it will cost. And so if he hasn't given us that and we've requested it, I can't speak to what he thinks if I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I feel like it would be good to have an actual
More clarity.
estimate with like
Need
line
a
item.
contract?
Line item
Well, and I think
estimate,
that's
so we
what
understand
Emily
what
was-
we're.
Yeah.
We were speaking toward like, it's lovely that he's offering to do some of this pro bono, but it might behoove us to just have a contract with him and offer to pay him so that we know what's happening when. And it sounds like maybe these millstones are hard to come by, and so when somebody finds one, it's like they have to purchase it like immediately.
I think that he would maybe need to hear from us that we're really serious. And
Yeah.
then he will find one and tell us how much it is.
Okay.
So we were waiting to hear how much would a millstone be, which it sounds like now we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 to
And
4,000.
that number is 4 to 5,000.
3 to 4,000.
3 to 4,000. Honestly, just off the top of my head, that sounds like a lot of money. I mean, we spent $10,000 roughly, right, on the whole construction over here.
Mhm.
And we're gonna, for $3,000 or $4,000, we're gonna get a single stone. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Sounds, I think it's a lot. I don't know.
Unless
I
that
don't know
figure
what-
included all of his work too, but we don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, he can't, move this thing himself.
Can we postpone this decision?
Yeah.
It sounds like we're not ready to make it.
And I feel like too with the aronia bushes dying there and I
Right.
don't know, I just feel like it seems like there's a lot kind of
Yeah.
up in the air in that
Yeah.
area. I
If
feel
you
a
get
little
sorted out.
uncertain about.
We got them on eBay.
I know.
I'm
looking
at you. I'm gonna roll it.
I can
Google buy,
Like the little Flintstone mobile.
Is that what it said? Oh.
Yeah. Local pickup only.
He has.
I wonder
been
where
on this
Andy
property.
Allen-
Yeah.
he's even hard to get.
So-
Well, everyone's so busy right now. Do you guys want to kick this back to me and say that you to have you talk to Rod again and to propose more of a phased plan, even if it's us having a conversation on the phone, me typing up what we said and sending it to him in an email and getting him to.
Yeah.
Say, yeah,
I'd
that's
love to
wonderful.
capture his, if he wants to work with us, we don't wanna lose that.
It would be
opportunity,
good
but-
to inform him of the problem with the bushes that might have
Mm.
something to do with the soil there,
Mm.
you know?
Although the upside of just putting grass in is that it probably would grow.
I would hope,
I would-
I mean, it's not like we're trying to plant exotic
no,
things, but anyway,
which is
sorry.
probably a good reason why we just, not to do a lot of landscaping there,
Yeah,
if that is the problem.
what you were saying.
Just saying that, do you want me to have another phone call with him in which I try to kind of pin him down on some steps for this project? Including, I mean, if he's not interested in doing the grass seeding part, maybe I could schedule our gardeners with that, but I don't know.
I
if
think
they
it's a
would-
bigger job than that.
bigger
It all
job,
has to be
yeah.
dug up, and I think we need to amend the soil.
Mhm.
Before they spend the money on seeding it, and it has to be a special
Mix, yeah.
seed mix, you know?
I wonder if there's more excavating that needs to be done to get more roots out or more stump out or what, cause
That
that's, to
shouldn't
me, that's
matter
like
for
the common
grass.
denominator of
It should
everything
matter with the
dying.
grass.
So do we have to move or like this, we just table it?
Table it.
You don't have to think me of that.
When you talk to him, if you could explain that, like, we can't move ahead until he gives a confirmation and an amount, maybe that will help his
I
process.
think he thought he did give me an amount, cause I really pressed him on like, how about an amount
Right.
about the millstone, but I don't, like I said, I don't know if that includes.
Right.
There's some huge stones in the library.
These
They're
guys-
probably different sizes.
These dropping stones. Have you been to the Wendell, Massachusetts Library? It's terrific, small library up in
Yes,
the,
nice library.
and it has a whole collection of huge stones up there.
I know, I was like, wait, when you said a collection, I was like circulating.
Do a field trip.
Can we go in the dark at night?
That's
They won't know.
Well, This is.
This millstone is on loan from the Wendell
Yeah, that-
Library in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
There.
No,
Is Wendell, Vermont?
no, Wendell.
Mass.
Okay,
Okay.
so you're,
Yeah.
I'll get.
Very
you're back on Ron duty.
I'll get back in touch with Rod and try to get more details and We'll wait, I guess, but they're not meeting again until September, so I'll be in touch with the garden committee about whatever he says, and then. But I don't know when grass seed planting happens.
No, it won't happen until September.
Like after the end of September. in
No,
October.
middle of September, when it gets to get cooler.
I know, but you guys don't meet again until September
I
26th.
know, I was
16th.
hoping we could approve money to
Yeah,
potentially grass seed, but I hear that it's complicated. I'll
call him,
Okay,
or maybe you and I,
yeah,
we'll figure it out. Or I mean, I'll just have to approach him again and say we need more details,
yeah.
or that you guys had some follow-up questions.
Thanks for your persistence, guys.
My favorite.
Fair compensation, I think Ben's gonna report in September, right?
Yeah, I did send out, a thing, and I'm just wondering if it
People
gone
haven't
through.
responded.
Yeah, so, okay, but I think Kevin responded, and none of us had overlapping dates, so
Yeah.
I'll send out
that's fine.
another.
You chose the 1 week off that I have.
Yeah, right, perfect, awesome. So, I will send out new dates for a new poll, and, we'll try and get us together before our September meeting so that we have something else to report next time.
Emily already reminded us that some of us are coming to Scoop Ice Cream on Thursday for the summer reading launch kickoff. That's at
Remind us
4
who
o'clock.
volunteered.
No, I can't.
It's in the minutes.
I did, yeah, in the minutes. Which minutes? 5:20 or earlier?
Penny and Ben.
5:20 was our
Yeah,
last
I
meeting.
did volunteer, but I was wondering if you'll have enough, if I can be excused. If not, I can make it.
Did I volunteer?
I think your
That's
name.
fine.
Cause I have an appointment.
I'll
So I
have
can't
Julia
do-
send out a reminder and realistic, not to, not to go under amount
Yeah,
of.
I thought she had said 2 to 3, and I know
I can
you're
def- I
saying
can
you can
definitely
be
come,
there,
yes.
and I can be there.
And I can't now if I said I was.
I can if you need me.
And Penny could if we needed
Do you
her.
have the inclusive list of every?
Susan, Penny, and Ben were the original volunteers, just for the record.
Thank you.
Well, and I couldn't remember because I did it last year.
Yeah.
And I can't now.
You can and you can't.
Can't.
Are you still able to?
Yeah, I think so.
I can if you need me,
Okay,
because I did commit.
okay.
I think if Ben, and I think.
Yeah, well,
we're
it
okay
sounds like if Ben is
fine.
able and Jessica and I come, then.
I mean,
think
last
we'll be
year,
good.
Okay.
there were 3 of us and there were probably too many.
Right.
Plus,
Well, if Jessica and Amber are doing it and then I think that should probably be it.
Yeah,
Thank
4:30, library ice cream scoop, it's in my calendar right there, so,
This
I'm
might be better
impressed.
attended because it's Anne Braden and she's.
oh, yeah.
It's what?
It's Anne
Anne
Braden.
Braden.
is the
Oh,
storyteller.
that's true.
No,
I have it
I'd
right
love
down
to
here,
hear
but I didn't have anything.
She's rubbing it about you missing it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
I'll scoop ice cream for Ann anytime.
Do you want us here at 4:30 or?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking Julia to get in
I
touch
have
with you guys and.
4.
I thought it was 2. Because I think the
I think it
event starts
4.
at 4 and she thought we would be
Yeah,
like
that's-
scooping
well, that's-
ice cream and then they'll be eating the ice cream by 4:30.
Oh, so
Something like
wait,
that, yeah, like.
should I arrive at 4? Is that what you're saying?
This one.
I'm gonna.
She's gonna see.
Okay,
Okay. Volunteers,
Awesome.
Ben, Jessica, and Amber. Susan and Penny, you guys can probably be off the hook unless Julia looks really stricken when I tell her.
Oh,
I'll be
totally.
here
Add me.
to Ryan Braden, so.
And you
Yeah.
can't.
I'm
add
experienced
that.
ice cream.
I know.
maker, but
That's great.
Sorry.
All right, guys,
I'm not
thank you for
afraid,
checking in.
I'm gonna go home and have some right now.
Emily already updated us on the lighting project. It's coming in August. The library will be closed for a couple days. It's weather dependent, so we don't know when that's gonna be yet, but it's gonna happen.
It's on its way. I'm looking forward to it.
You guys already approved the money for Chrissy?
Sure.
No other business? Are there any public comment?
I am so thrilled that we're going to be doing the lighting. I'm very, very happy. And thanks for letting me sit in. It was great fun. You've got so much energy and great food. Go in the right direction.
Thanks, Janice.
The snacks.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's so much better. The date for our next board meeting is September 16th, 6:30. Make a motion to adjourn at 8:07. All in favor? Thanks, guys. That was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, sure was. Happy summer, everybody.
Happy
Going too fast already.
And there it goes. That's every season.